Australian Research Alliance for Children and Youth has released a report card about the well-being of young Australians. The report found nearly 1 in 3 young people aged between 15 and 24 are overweight or obese. Teenage pregnancy rates are high and youth unemployment is still increasing. Well, Josh Genner from the Australian Youth Affairs Coalition is the Deputy Director of the Young People's Team. He says it's concerning to see young people disengaging from education and employment. Josh joins us now. Josh, thank you for joining us this morning. Let's talk first about that disengagement. What do you mean by that and why are youth disengaging?
So disengagement is about people that aren't looking for work, that aren't engaged in education, that have, to oversimplify, have given up, are at a point where they're past prime.
Why have people given up? Is this something to do with hard to find a job, or do we need to look deeper below the surface and say look at a value-based system or a kind of general way in which that group of people is thinking?
I think that that certainly there is a whole, societal problem here, and the superficial stuff is absolutely true. It's hard to find a job. It can be really hard to find support when you're out of work. It can be hard to find, programs like the great one that we just saw that offer the soft skills that are needed, the respect for yourself, the belief that you can achieve incredible things. It can be really hard to find those services, but it's broader than just the support programs that are available and the government assistance and that sort of thing. I think that this is a challenge for all of Australia to engage in. Everybody who's listening at home today, if you want to see an Australia where the young Australians are absolutely succeeding, then be a part of the solution. If you're an employer, ring up a young person and give them a chance, or even better, ring up a local youth service and say, is there a young person there who could really do with a break? And go speak to them. Or even if you don't have a job, just call them and say, what can I do to help? We're all part of the solution.
The report does mention that taking responsibility. I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. Can we blame employers for not giving young people a chance? Does this group of people need to take some responsibility as well? Absolutely,
absolutely. And it's not about blame at all. It has nothing to do with blame. It has to do with all of us wanting something better for our young Australians and all of us doing what we can to do it. And absolutely, young Australians are part of that. If you're a young Australian, I'd say as well, go out there, have a think about what it is you want to do in life and start taking steps towards that. If you're not sure, ask people who you know what your skills are, what they think you would be suited to, and go start making inroads. If you decide you want to work in a hospital, go knock on the local hospital's door and say, can I volunteer? Can I get a sense of what it's like to work here? And ask them, if they think you'd be suited to it. And don't give up until you get there. Nobody can help you if you don't help yourself. We've been asking our viewers this morning what they think. I think we've got a couple of responses there. We might get it up on a graphic in just a moment. Here's the first one there. On Facebook, Mike Gibley, they're saying, can't stand a lot of my fellow teenagers, no life, no judgment, no respect, no discipline, and most of them don't appreciate what they've got. On Twitter, we've got a comment there as well. Kelly saying, I think Gen Y faces a life of stress with everything so fast and changing now. There's no simple life anymore. Then we have Graham Wynn there on Twitter as well. I have many clients who state they don't want to employ people under 26 due to poor work ethic, no respect and bad attitudes. A range of opinions there. Josh, which one would you like to pick out and have a chat about? Look, that last one sticks in my mind. That's clearly that's not helping anything if there are employers out there who have already made up their mind that young Australians don't deserve a chance.
Let's broaden the discussion, I guess. If we have a bunch of people who we've lumped into a kind of generation who aren't really realising their dreams and passions, there's a sort of sense of disengagement, what does that do for their prospects, say, on an international level, about Australia becoming engaged on a sort of international level?
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. So this is the question we need to ask ourselves. Australians like saying that we live in the lucky country, but Australia is the lucky country when we make it the lucky country. We have to look at these young Australians and ask ourselves, do we want these young people to be our nurses and our firefighters and our colleagues and our neighbours and the fellow parents who are at weekend soccer in 20 years' time? Or do we want them to be disengaged, angry, at risk of criminality or disengagement for the long term. And if the answer is that we want this to be the lucky country for all Australians, then it's about all of us being a part of that solution. Even if you're not an employer, you should be at a local youth centre volunteering if you want to see a change. You should be offering up your time or weekends to go teach mechanics or arranging flowers or teaching boxing. These are all wonderful things that can teach young people a sense of self-worth. They can teach them to believe in themselves. They can teach them that they can achieve things. And it's only much later in the sort of turning that self-belief into a job that intervention programs that the government runs and mainly can make a difference. So much of it's about us and what we do.
Josh Gennett from the Australian Youth Affairs Coalition, thanks so much for joining us in the studio this morning.